Hey, good afternoon. My name is Bill Stykes. I'm the District Athletic Director for Griffin Spalding County Schools. I want to welcome everybody who's joining us live and on YouTube for our Winter Sports Media Day here in Griffin Spalding County School System. First up are our tennis teams from Griffin High School and Spalding High School, represented by Coach Hill and Coach Dunn. Process for today is similar to our other media days. Our coaches will field a series of questions, and then our student athletes will field a series of questions, and we'll open it up if we have any media members present. We appreciate you joining us on the live stream and joining us here in person as we learn about our spring sports, hear from some of our outstanding athletes, and learn what makes Griffin great and Spalding strong. First up is our tennis teams. First, we'll start with Coach Hill, the Griffin High School tennis coach. Coach, will you introduce yourself, talk to us about your role as the tennis coach at Griffin High, introduce the student athletes with you today, and include their grade level for us.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Coach Hill, and I'm the head girls and boys tennis coach at Griffin High School. Today I brought with me Zaria. She's my junior. She is the first seed singles in girls. This year is extremely exciting for us. We have full teams, and we're just continuing to grow, to nourish our kids with a lot of love, a lot of support, and making sure that they learn the sports, have a good time, build relationships, and just continue to just be great at everything that they're doing.
Great, Coach. Thank you. Coach Dunn, same question. Tell us about yourself, about your role as the head tennis coach and the athletes that you brought with you today.
All right, my name is Chris Dunn. This is my 5th year as tennis coach, and so I'm excited to work with the students, be outside, get the students involved in another activity just to help them become more well-rounded student athletes. Today I brought with us, we have two, this is their 4th year on the team, Lily Moody and Britton Gill. They both traditionally played singles. Then we have Walker Blaylock, this is his 2nd year on the team. He played doubles last year, we'll see where he ends up this year. And we have Henry Aldridge, played JV in 8th grade, this is his 2nd year on varsity, and he is in 10th grade, and he has played singles traditionally.
Great, thank you. We're going to start with a series of questions for our coaches. We'll start with Coach Dunn and then go to Coach Hill for this next question. Coaches, what are you most looking forward to this season?
Really the number of returning players that we have. Last year we lost one person on the guys team, one person on the girls team to graduation. So it's good to see them graduate and be successful, start college in the next stage of their life. But just the continuity. We've got a large team this year on the girls' side, but most of them are returners from last year. Same thing with the guys, just continuing the growth of all of them as players and as a team. Just that continuity, seeing them just grow and work together in those relationships. I guess I'm most excited to see that continue.
And as a coach, we know that's awesome as you see them grow throughout the year and grow together, especially year after year. Coach Hill, same question. What are you most looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to just teaching the kids, watching how they interact with each other and grow as a team and as individual players. Because I have such a young team and we're growing, I'm just trying to figure out still where's going to be the best placement in the middle of the season, toward the end of the season, if changes need to be made. But we're going to have fun, and adjustments will come, and we'll just continue to just be our happy selves.
Right, that's great. Hey, talk to us about practice, coaches. We're going to talk about what practice looks like. I know the season is very, very young, and it's still freezing cold and raining outside. But I want you to tell us, what does practice look like for a tennis program at Griffin and at Spalding, and what are you focused on with your young team and with your returners to prep them for the season? Coach Hill first.
Right now, because we have such young players, we're working on a lot of agility skills, a lot of footwork, making sure that rackets are the appropriate way as far as hitting and all of the serving. So it's more of watching the kids grow into tennis players to make sure their performance is well overall, and making sure that they're not messing up with just regular general strokes. A lot of running, because we want to make sure that we can hang in there to play those different sets, and that's about it.
Coach Dunn?
Like you said, it is really early in the season, especially as cold and rainy as it's been this year. I guess the first thing right off the bat is sort of have the students, the returning students, and then anybody that really feels up to it, just sort of do a round robin, play each other really to see the starting point for the year as far as figuring out where all the athletes are going to go in the lineup to start the season. Doesn't mean it's going to stay that way, but just got to figure out how to start people. As much as possible, just have them play and just try to watch, look for strengths and weaknesses, things that they're doing great and have improved on. I think the biggest thing at the high school level that I see is serves. A tremendous amount of the points come off serve. If you can't serve it in, I don't care how good you are with anything else. So that's going to be one of the big focuses this year, is just working on the serves and just getting those serves in, especially on that second serve.
Perfect. Talk to us, coaches, about key things. What do you look for in a student athlete? What makes someone a successful student athlete in tennis? We'll start with Coach Dunn and then go to Coach Hill.
I think as far as what I'm looking for, to me, the student side is first. If you can't pass your classes, if you can't be respectful in class, I think that's a big thing. I've always tried to recruit students that are respectful, that are academic, that keep their grades up. But I think being a team player is a tremendous part of it as well. And it's hard with tennis because a lot of people don't. It is a team sport, but it's not. If you're playing singles, you're on the court, it's you. There's nobody else. But it is a team with the points. I mean, you could be the single best player in the state, and if your team doesn't make the playoffs, you don't make the playoffs. And so I think getting people to push each other and work together as a team, whether it's practice and you're hitting against someone in practice, you can't slack off because I don't care if you are better than them. You need to make them better so that the team is better, so that the team can be successful. So just looking really for that positive mindset, I think, is the biggest thing.
Great. Coach Hill, what are you looking for? What makes a successful tennis athlete in the Griffin High program?
Academics definitely come first with us. Most of my tennis players are on a very high end of the academic portion of things. The second thing is leadership. Leadership individually speaks volume because those players are going to grab the younger players and their teammates, and they're going to form bonds to really help them grow. So they may be strong at something and another person may be weaker, and that leadership will actually allow them to help train and get them better during the season.
It's great. Great. And we've got one more question for the coaches, and it's about success, right? As coaches, we define success in a lot of different ways, right? We define success on the court. We define success in the classroom. For some of us, it may be state championships. It may be winning 1 point for some student athletes. It may be pulling their GPA up. It may be finding confidence where maybe confidence wasn't there before. So tell me, what are your specific goals in May when you sit down and pop your feet up, Coach Hill? What's going to be a successful tennis season for Griffin tennis?
Every coach want to win. However, that's not the most successful thing, but the most successful thing is changing their lives and watching the kids grow. Watching them not just grow on the court, but off the court. Having kids come in and not being able to do something, but by the end of the season, they're well-rounded and able to achieve the goals that they couldn't achieve at first.
Coach Dunn, same question. What does a successful Spalding season look like?
I think overall it goes back to just getting the students on the team to be better people, to be better students, to be better athletes, to push them. Everything from time management to, like, I'm stressed, I got this project, I got this test. How do I balance that with practice? And, well, I mean, that's adult life as well. How do you balance things? And so helping them improve as people and students. For all my seniors that are going to be graduating this year, hopefully leaving them with a love of tennis that will continue. Not many high school sports you can continue to play competitively for the rest of your life. I mean, there's a handful, golf and swimming, running maybe, but I mean, football, that's over really for most people. Basketball, I mean, you've got you can play to some level, but I mean, at some point, you just can't do it. But tennis and is one of those that hopefully they'll have this lifelong love of the game. For my underclassmen, hopefully they're going to be passionate and they're going to go out and A, return, but then B, they're going to talk the program up, talk their love of it, their interest, and continue to expand the program. We've got a large team this year. Right now, I think we've got 18, 19 girls that are out. We've got 9 guys at this point. So it's good. I want to see it continue to grow. And ultimately, like Coach Hill said, every coach wants to win. The last 3 years, boys and girls teams have made the playoffs. Girls were runner-up last year in the region. Boys runner-up the year before that. I mean, ultimately, really, I think seeing that happen again, to me, making the playoffs has become sort of an expectation of mine for the team. I think they're capable of that, and to me, really success is seeing them get into it, continue to be into it, and hopefully host the first round of the playoffs this year.
Be great. We'd love to see that. We're going to go to our student athletes now. We're going to start for this first question with Zaria and then go over to Henry and work our way down. Guys, this first question is going to be the hardest one you get all day, okay? Just tell us your name, your grade level, and tell us whether you prefer to play singles or doubles.
Hi, my name is Zaria. I'm an 11th grader, and I personally prefer playing singles. While I love playing with my friends and stuff like that during tennis, I still really like to be able to go one-on-one with the person I'm going up against.
Great, great. Henry?
My name's Henry. I'm in 10th grade, and I prefer to play singles just because I like one-on-ones.
Got it. Walker?
Walker. I'm a 10th grader, and I prefer to play singles, even though I played doubles last year. I'm looking forward to having a competition by myself.
Yep. Britton?
Hey, I'm Britton. I'm a senior at Spalding, and I prefer to play singles.
Lily?
Hey, I'm a senior, and I prefer to play singles.
Great, great. For this next question, we're going to go in the reverse order. So we're going to start with Lily and work our way all the way back down, okay, guys? And we're going to talk about your strengths as an individual. So the question is this: what are your strengths as a player, and how do you use those strengths to make your team successful? So Lily, you want to go ahead and kick us off?
One of my strongest suits is definitely like my backhand. I feel like it's the best. And also I feel like a leader, and I feel like people know they can talk to me about questions, whether it's tennis or anything else.
Great. Britton, same question. What are your strengths as a player, and how do you make the team successful using those?
I'd say my biggest strength as a tennis player is probably my forehand. That's my strongest swing. And then I also feel like I'm just very supportive and encouraging to my teammates. And
Great. Walker?
I feel that my strongest strength as a tennis player is probably my forehand as well, but for the team, I feel like I can be good at teaching others how to play. So with new people joining the team, it's good to be able to teach others.
That's great. Henry?
My biggest strength would be my backhand, but I also think I have a lot of experience because I've started playing tennis since first grade, and a lot of the guys started playing last year. So I just think I have a lot of experience that I could pass on to the others.
Absolutely. That's great. Zaria, tell us about your strengths.
My greatest strength is my endurance. Even though I may not get to every single ball, I'm still going to have the energy to get to the next one. And if I finish a game, I can still, practice with some of my teammates.
That's great. We're going to stay here with Zaria for the next question and talk about practice, right? Tell us what a tennis practice is like for you, and while you practice over the next couple weeks, what specifically are you going to work on, okay?
Of our tennis practices are usually focusing on like a single thing every single day. Like one day may focus on, us building up our endurance or getting better at our footwork, our front hands, our back hands, our serves, everything like that. Me personally, I want to improve on my front and my back hands so that, I can make it a little more difficult for my competition.
That's great. That's great. So Henry, we'll go with you. Same question. Tell us, practice, what do you focus on improving, and what does a practice look like at Spalding High?
I think a practice at Spalding is we try to help people with their individual needs. So if someone wants to work on forehands, one court works on forehands, and if someone wants to work on volleys, one court works on volleys. But it's always just important to have fun at the same time.
Great, great. Walker, same question.
This normally just consists of hitting rallies with each other and be able to just keep a point going instead of just trying to finish it instantly and just trying to help each other out on what they need to work on, like Henry said.
That's great. So Britton, same question. How's practice? What does a practice look like at Spalding, and individually, what are you focused on improving?
Yeah, so at Spalding, like Henry and Walker said, we really just focus on what each person needs individually, and we make sure that everybody gets practice with what they need personally. And I think this season, I definitely need to work on my serves. I think that's something that I will focus on with the.
Lily, same question.
Okay, so I definitely need to work on my serves, and we just work on like hitting back and forth, also having fun, and just like working on what everybody needs to work on and stuff.
Go back to Zaria for this will be your last question for me, and I know we've got a couple local media members that may ask some questions. And that's talk about the team. We've talked about individuals, right? You talked about what your strengths are, what you're working on, but now I want you to tell us about your team. So Zaria, what is Griffin Tennis's biggest team strength in your view?
I feel our team's biggest strength is probably our drive. You know, we try to come to as many practices as possible. We get our practices in even with each other when Coach Hill isn't here. We're trying to improve as much as we can, you know.
That's great. That's great. And we're going to go over to Britton. So talk to us. What is your team's biggest strength and why?
I think my team's biggest strength as a whole would probably be just how supportive we are of each other. And like Coach Dunn said, even though sometimes tennis is more of a individual thing, when others aren't in a match and we have another playing a match, we all kind of, you know, gather around them and we make sure that they feel supported and we're cheering them on. And I just feel like we have created a good family together and we can all be supportive and encouraging.
Great. Walker?
I feel like for the boys team at least, we are all sophomores and we all started about kind of the same time, some earlier. And just moving up, I see us all as a good group of seniors just playing as good as we can. And for the team and all, we have determination. We'll stay playing. Even if we lose a point, we're not going to stop there. Just keep going.
Great, great. We'll go to Henry and then finish with Lily. Same thing, team strengths.
Probably teamwork and friendship. I like that all of us on the team, we're not exclusively tennis friends. We're all friends outside of tennis. So even when we don't have practice on the weekends, we can still go out and practice and play.
Right, Lily?
What Britton said, we're really good at like building each other up and always being there for each other and like never like discouraging anybody.
That's great. That's great. Sure, do you want to ask? Okay. So we will be wrapping up now. I do want to give the coaches one more time to kind of make any type of statement that they have. But before we do that, I just want to remind everybody listening on the live stream and here of the long and really heralded history tennis has had in Griffin, right? We've had state champions as far back as the 1942 season in GHSA at Griffin High, and we've had a really robust tennis program here in Griffin, both community-wide and school-wide for a long time. So if you're looking for a way to get involved in a school sport and maybe a football, basketball isn't something for you, tennis really is a way to get involved in Griffin Spalding County athletics and at these schools and learn a sport that you can play for a lifetime. So we definitely want to encourage anybody that is out there and interested in tennis to talk to the coaches, pick up a racket so they can be ready for next year. But while we talk about this year, coaches, the last thing we want to say is when can we catch you? Here or close, and what is going to be your most exciting match coming up? Coach Hill.
You could catch the Bears at Hampton, February the 7th. Come out at 4:30, catch our girls and boys play against their teams. And we're looking forward to having some great times. One of the chants that the students use is, do you want to have fun today? Do you want to win today? Bears, let's go Bears.
There you go. Let's go Bears. I love it.
So our first match is February 6th at home. Rock Springs is going to be coming to play with us. We have a match, I think, every Tuesday and most Thursdays from February 6th through the middle of April. We're at home a lot this year, just the nature of the schedule we have. So we'd love to have you come catch a game at Spalding. So I'm just looking forward to another great year, watching the students continue to grow, and looking forward to it.
Right, we'd love to see students and community members come support. This is one of our sports that has no admission fees, so right, there's no reason why we can't have a big crowd at all our tennis matches. So gentlemen, ladies, thank y'all for being here. Thank you for what you do. We're excited about a great tennis season, and so let's give them a round of applause. This concludes our tennis group. We'll get y'all as a picture. Y'all can come up and get in the middle. If our golf team will head into the We're back from our quick break. We appreciate everybody hanging with us both here live and on our live stream. As we move from tennis into golf, we're joined today by the golf teams from Griffin High School and Spalding High School, represented by Coach Pulliam and Coach Hurst. And so we're going to start today with a series of questions with the coaches and then move into questions with our student athletes. First question will be, for Coach Pulliam. If you'll tell us your name, introduce yourself, tell us about yourself as a golf coach, and introduce the student athletes to your right, and tell us what grade they're in and anything else you want to share about them as golfers.
Well, my name is Coach Lewis Pulliam. I've been fortunate to be a head coach of golf at a couple of different schools. I do have a couple of state championships underneath my belt, so I'm excited about that. But each year brings its own challenges and its own, I guess, little tweaks that you got to work through on everything. Today we brought Austin Street and Cameron Hughley with me. Cameron, she's a sophomore, played last year, and Austin is a senior. I'm looking forward to this school year and this golf season and see what we can bring for us.
That's great, Coach. Thank you. Coach Hurst, same question. Tell us about yourself, about your service as a golf coach, and introduce the student athletes to your left.
Okay, this is going to be my first year as a golf coach. To my left, we have Jackson, he's a senior. Then we have Emery, who's a senior, and Ethan, who's a senior, and Maddie, who's a junior.
Great, great. And so we're going to talk about the season, right? And so let's start with Coach Hurst. You said it's your first year here as the Spalding golf coach, so tell us, what are you most looking forward to this season?
What I'm most looking forward to is playing new teams, new schools, and playing on new courses because we're playing different teams. So we're branching out.
Fun, that's fun. Always good to get a new view and see some new courses. How about Coach Pulliam? Tell me what you're looking forward to the most.
Me, it's always, I enjoy watching student growth and player growth. A lot of times you might not start off real strong as a player. I've been fortunate to see a player in the past pick up a club first year as a freshman, and their senior year actually get a college scholarship. So it depends on the player and the commitment level that they bring to the sport. But for me, I love seeing the individual growth in the players and seeing them grow not only in the school but out there on the course as well.
Great, that's great. And it segues great to our next question, which is about practice and how we practice for golf. You know, golf's a little different than a lot of our sports. A lot of hours it takes on the course and on the range to be a proficient golfer. But we'll start with Coach Pulliam and then go to Coach Hurst. How are you going to structure practices this year to help your students improve, but also to put together your team in a way that will make them competitive?
The way we usually look at practices for me is consistency. If you can develop a consistent routine, whether it be with your swing, whether it be how you approach a ball, how you approach a situation, how you handle yourself on the course, those develop the player. And from the player, those all develop the team. And golf is unique in its own rights as it's individual and team related. So that individual can go on to play in state as an individual, or you can go as a group. So it's exciting to see both of those happen simultaneously, I would say. But for us in practice, really, I think it starts off with working on the little things. I tell all of my players it starts on the putting green. You use that club more than you do anything else. And then we work from our short game up. A lot of people love getting out there and hitting that long ball, but I'll be honest with you, you might only use it 3 or 4 times on a course versus that putter you use all the time. So that's the approach I take whenever we coach the team, and what I'm looking forward to this year.
May need to come work with you, Coach. I use my other clubs way too often. Coach Hurst, same question. How do you focus on practice, and how do you make the team better?
This year, I think we're going to focus on reading the greens and learning how to putt better. Like he said, you spend more time with that club than you do any other club. So that's what I want to work with and focus on.
Great. Let's talk about student athletes, right? What do you look for in a student athlete? So we'll start with Coach Hurst. What are key things you look for this season from your student athletes as Spalding High golfers?
What I'm looking for are people that can work together, help each other out, and cheer each other on. Not make it a negative, but make it a positive experience. Because golf is a lifelong sport. I mean, you can play until in your 80s. I know people, I have friends that are in their 80s that play still twice a week. So it's something that they could do for the rest of their life. And I hope they come to love it.
Coach Pulliam, same question. What key things do you look for your student athletes this year?
For me, I look at the term student athlete and I look at it in that manner. Student first, athlete second. And whenever I look at my players, I hope that I see the same desire, drive on the course as I do in the classroom. And for me, having that same consistency throughout will eventually show up on the course. If they excel in the classroom, I can promise you eventually they'll put that same effort out there on the course and they'll excel in the course as well. So for me, that's kind of the consistency I look for across the board.
Now we're going to talk about success. We're going to start with Coach Pulliam and go to Coach Hurst. What does success this season look like? You know, as coaches, we talk about success being low scores or winning, and you both have storied programs, right? Griffin High School Golf has won 9 boys golf state championships throughout its history, and Spalding High Golf had a state low medalist in 2 years ago, right? So we have 2 programs that have had a history over the last 10, 20, 30, 40, 80 years of success. But what does success look like for the 2024 golf team at Griffin High?
Success, I think, especially for the Griffin Bears this year, is more of an individual thing. It may not be success as the total score output, but how you handle yourself from green to tee box. If you can control your mannerisms and your approach to the game, and I guess one of the biggest things in golf is forgetting about the last shot. And so for me to see a player work through that mentally, because golf, I hate to say it, is a big mental game, and if they can mentally work through the struggles, I see that as being a success. I do, like any other coach, I would love to see the success as like us going to state, having maybe that low medalist that you're talking about. One of those is I think the plateau, the top tier of success for the program. But individually, I think each individual has a certain level of success that they can strive for, and setting them small goals for them, I think, is what we're really looking for.
Great, great. Coach Hurst, same question. Tell us about success. What is a successful season for Spalding Golf?
For me, it's for the growth of the golfers. Even if they've grown a little bit, they can still get better and have a positive attitude about it, like he was saying. So I just hope that my team goes out there and has fun, learns from each other, and has some great scores out there.
Great, great. Coaches, appreciate that. We're going to turn now to our student athletes and ask a series of questions. For these first questions, we're going to start with Austin and work our way all the way down to Maddie, okay? And it is going to be an easy one, right? Just tell us your name, tell us your grade level, and I want you to tell me your favorite club to hit. How about that?
Sir, in straight, 2020. I'd have to say is my 7-iron. If I say drive.
All right, Cameron.
Name is Cameron Hughley. I am a sophomore, and I would say my favorite club is a 3-iron.
Y'all are better than me because I can't hit those mid-irons at all. Let's go, Jackson. Tell us your name, your grade level, and your favorite club.
My name is Jackson Compton. I'm a senior, and my favorite club to hit would be my pitching wedge.
Go ahead.
My name is Emery Hancock, and I'm a senior this year, and I would have to say my favorite club would have to be my 5-wood.
All right, Ethan.
And Harris, I'm a senior, and my favorite club to hit is 7-iron.
All right, Maddie.
My name is Maddie Harrison, and I'm a junior at Spalding High this year, and my favorite club to hit is definitely my 9-iron.
So this time we're going to start with Maddie, and we're going to work our way all the way back down to Austin, and that is talking about you as a golfer, okay? I want you to think about yourself as a golfer. What is your strength as a golfer, and how does that make your team better? All right, Maddie?
So my strength as a golfer, I have not even been playing a full year entirely yet, so I believe that the fact of me being able to learn quickly and being able to overcome different situations that I've never been in before is a very good skill of mine. I may not be best at the game, but I have a drive to want to be better, and I have that ability to learn to be better. And for the team, that drive that I have is also channeled into other girls on the team. So if they're feeling down, I'm like, hey, you got this. It's okay. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine, kind of thing. So that's
Great. Ethan, same question. What's your strength as a golfer, and how do you use that to make your team better?
Golf's a game that you're never going to perfect. You're always going to be working to make yourself better. So one of my strengths is, trying to stay consistent. I'd say I'm consistent in short game. How that can make the team better, I can teach people what I know about short game and how to improve short game.
Great, great. Emery, tell us your strength as a golfer and how that makes your team better.
I would say my strength would be my mentality when I'm on the course. Playing golf is a physical sport, but there are big aspects of it being a mental sport. It's the fact of when you go on a tee box and say you happen to hit a bad shot, you don't get frustrated, and then it just leads on to another, and it just continues to snowball. Persevering through that and just showing a good mentality and thinking about it in a good way, and just thinking about that next shot, and like the Griffin coach was saying, not worrying about the last one.
That's great. That's great. Jackson, same question. What's your strength as a golfer, and how do you use that to help your team?
I would say my strength is I'm always level-headed, and I'm thinking about not thinking about the last shot and mentality, but like analyzing what I did wrong and how I could improve it, and like how to fix my mistake. And I could help my other teammates by helping them, by giving them good advice, and just trying to help them along if they're ever feeling frustrated.
Right. That's great. That's great. Cameron, same question. Talk to us. What's your strength as a golfer, and how do you use that to help the team?
I would say my strength is my drive and how competitive I am, because with my drive, there are shorter amount of shots taken when my drive is long. And then with how competitive, I would say when I'm out there, since I want to win, I'm trying my all, and I feel like that contributes.
Absolutely. That's great. Yep. Austin, finish this off. Your strengths as a golfer and how that helps the team.
Sir, as a and just worrying about making the best opportunities for myself. And I think you need, as an individual, you need to you need to keep your composure. Golf, like multiple people have others said, 90% mental and 10% physical. So you gotta forget the last shot and just move on.
That's great. That's great. That's great. Now let's talk about how you practice golf. Talk to us about how you practice. We're going to start with Cameron and then go to Austin, and then we'll go over to Maddie and work our way back down for this next question. And it's talk to us about golf practice. What does golf practice look like for your school? And what are you going to work on in the next couple months to be a better golfer? Go ahead, Cameron.
This looks like starting with putting and then continuing to work on short game. And I think the focus of mine would be my short game.
That's great. That's great. Austin, talk to us about practice, what it looks like, and then what you're focused on in practice improving.
Practice for us looks like you definitely start off on the green, on the putting green, because you have to work your way up, and that's where you're going to take most of your shots. So that's where it's most important. One thing is getting more fairways and putting ourselves.
That's great. That's great. So Maddie, we'll start with you and work our way down. Same question. Talk to us about what golf practice looks like for you guys, and then what you're individually working on improving.
So for Spalding High, we start on driving range. We work our way up in clubs. So you start with the ones and you work way up. But then we go down to putting greens, and usually we're encouraged to walk a couple holes, whether it be the front 9 or the back 9, whichever you have to work more at. It's encouraged, hey, you're not doing so great on 11, go work on 11. Or if there's some greens that you find tricky to read, go walk through that hole and work on those greens. But personally, for my game, I am definitely going to focus a lot more on my long game. I know I'm not very good with short game, but it's not terrible. I'm not content with it, but everything needs work. But more importantly, long game for me this season is definitely going to be a priority, as well as form and structure for myself. So I don't end up hurting myself more than I am doing benefit for myself.
Great. That's great. Eve?
Start on the range, focus on clubs that we're not good at hitting. We got that down, we moved down to the putting green, work on short game, and then like she said, we walked through a couple holes. One of the things that I focus on working on is definitely driver and getting it going where I want it to go.
Awesome. Emery, so talk to us about practice, what it looks like, and then what you're focused on improving at your practice.
So practice for me usually looks about like, as like they said, starting on the driving range. But for me, I do it kind of differently. I start from my smallest club or a club I'm more comfortable hitting and just getting loosened and getting warmed up. And then hitting about a bucket of balls on the range and then going to the green and practicing short game. But that's really about it. I'll walk a couple holes every now and then, but it's really just staying on the range and staying on the green, focusing on my short game and the structure of my swing. Something right now that I really want to work on this season is the structure of my swing. For example, my takeaway. I need to, this season, instead of worrying about hitting it far as others, more worry about the structure of my swing and hitting it more consistent and finding more fairways instead of hitting it as far as I can.
That's great. That's great. Jackson?
So when we start practice, like they said, we start on the range, and I see that as an opportunity to, loosen up, get the feel for things, and then move on to the putting green and just try to improve on the putting green. But something I want to do more is actually get out there and walk holes and play, so I can get in like realistic conditions and what we will be dealing with during matches, and just get more experience.
That's great. That's great. We got one more question for student athletes from me. We're going to start with Jackson and work our way back through the Spalding golfers and then come over to the Griffin golfers. And that's about the team, right? So golf, as folks might not know, golf at the high school level is a little different. That you guys compete and then we take your scores and combine them to get the team scores. So it's an individual and a team event. But talk to us about your team. How does what does your team view as their biggest strength and why? So we'll start with Jackson.
I would say it's the fact that we are all great friends. Like, we know each other, we hang out on and off the course, and so there is no barrier there with like talking and relationships. And so everybody, whenever you give criticism, it's taken like thoughtfully, and it's not just thrown away. So that's a big deal.
Great. Emery?
I would say as a team, we all have our select skill sets. For example, me and Ethan would be better at our short game, and Jackson is known on the team to be a little bit of a long hitter. So we can all on the team help each other, build upon each other, and help each other heighten our skills.
Great. Eve?
Great thing about this team is, like Jackson said, we all know each other, so it's more of a family. It's kind of like you're out there playing with your brother, maybe, like if you got a really close brother. And so that just helps out, especially. Biggest thing with the team as a whole is we can all consistently get along.
That's great. Maddie, talk to us about the team. What's the team's biggest strength and why?
So like they were all saying, no matter the circumstances, our team is able to cut up. It doesn't matter what's going on. Nobody is going to be upset. And if somebody is upset, then we're going to be there to support them. But also, as Emery was saying, all of our skill sets are combined. We have different levels of experience for different things, and we can combine those things to encourage each other or help each other out, or just give a few tips and pointers here when you're out on fairway, on a green, etc.
That's great. So we'll go to Austin and then finish with Cameron. It's the same question. What's your team's biggest strength and why?
I think as a team, we pride ourselves on staying competitive on and off the course. I think it's important that we get 1% better every day, one step at a time. So you just got to keep moving and staying competitive. So.
That's great. That's great. Cameron?
Say that we support each other and know how to have fun in the game. And so it boosts our spirits and increase the way we play.
That's wonderful. One thing I noticed is you guys talked a lot about your sport. You talked a lot about golf, but 90% of the things you talked about were those life skills that I think the game teaches you, right? You talked about competitiveness. That kept coming out, and composure and mentality and overcoming adversity. And that was something that stuck out to me. And I know your coaches are very proud of you. We're really proud of you at Griffin Spalding County Schools for what you do. And the eloquence with which you've composed yourself and presented yourself today is impressive. Coaches, you should be proud of your teams. Before we get out of here, just want you to plug one more time when we can see you. Where can we see you close to here? Do we have a match at home? Where do you play? And if so, if it's not going to be at home, what's the closest match or tournament we can see you guys in?
Actually, our first match is against each other.
That's great.
On February 27th. We play at the city course. That's our home course for both of us. So it's local, and you can come at any time. We're going to post the schedule for Spalding on our website, so you can grab and come watch us, which is another thing that you don't have to pay to come watch us. You don't have an entry fee. So other than that, we're playing in Forsyth and in Jackson and at in Upson County. So
awesome. That's great. Coach Bullion?
So when we beat Spalding, I'm sorry. Like she said, golf is a great sport that you're more than welcome to come out and watch and spectate. The only requirement really for spectators is stay on the cart path. Other than that, come watch and support your players and the teams. And a lot of ours will be at the city course as well. We have a lot that are going to be up in Henry County at Heron Bay. We have a few that we venture out a little bit for, but most of ours are going to be local, within really close driving distance, all of our matches. So
that's great. That's great. We appreciate y'all being here, and definitely want to encourage everybody to join us at the City Park City Course on February 27th, as y'all get to compete with each other, and we all get to see this great game and hopefully a great match. So thank you guys for being here. You did an excellent job. We're now going to bring y'all to the middle. We're going to take a picture, and as we do that, we'll get ready for our next group, which is track and field. And if those athletes that are coaches will go ahead and move into the room over here, we'll prepare to transition. Once you put your sign up, you can hit that.
Don't start. I'm gonna be loud. Okay, fine. Okay, my strengths.
All right, we're coming back. We'll be presenting the track and field team, both the boys and the girls track and field teams from Griffin High and Spalding High. You notice we're going to have a number of student athletes, so we generally are keeping it about 25 minutes. We're planning on this to be about 30 to 40 minutes because of the number of students. And so those of you watching at home, just if you want to make that note, we appreciate you listening and joining us live on YouTube and also on the replay. Track and field has a long and storied history in Griffin and Spalding County and has been a sport that Griffin and Spalding athletes have been successful in for many years. So we're excited to hear about the 2024 versions of the Griffin Bears and Spalding Jaguars track teams. We're going to start with our coaches. Coaches, if you'll introduce yourselves and then introduce the student athletes and include their position and kind of what events that they do for you. It doesn't have to be specific. You can just say they're sprinters, distance, field athletes. We'll start with Griffin first, then go to Spalding.
Hey guys doing? My name is Antonio Andrews. I'm actually starting my 16th year as a track and field coach here at Griffin High School, and I'm excited as ever. I have with me here, I have Mr. Cartavius Compton. He's a sprinter. Mr. Abram Williams, a state qualifier last year, as well as Jordan Moulton, also a state qualifier. Mrs. Hannah Carlisle, a sectional qualifier, and Savannah Welch and Taylor Lattimore. They're all sprinters.
Thanks, Coach. And we'll go with Spalding.
Coach Donald Williams, first year girls head track and field coach. I have all sprinters here. I have Q1 Davis, Mrs. Nyla, Katara, Micaiah, and Mr. Alexander.
Great. Great. And so let's talk about this season, right? Track and field starts soon. We've got a number of meets coming up, some local, some across the state, culminating, of course, in the region track meet and then the sectionals in the state. And so talk to us, coaches, about what you're looking forward to this season. What's your biggest thing you're looking forward to this season coming up? We'll start with Spalding and then go to Griffin. Y'all can both answer.
The biggest thing I'm looking forward to this season is sending my seniors out on a high note. I came in mid-season last year. Coach Perrin brought me in as a head coach for the girls, and I made it my personal mission to make sure that my seniors go out on top the best way that we can.
Coach Kearney?
Yeah, not to piggyback off of him, but I thought we had a decent season last year, but I'm looking for much more out of our sprinters, especially our girls and boys in the sprints. So we just got to work twice as hard and do whatever we have to do to compete at a high level.
That's great. Coach Andrews?
I want to make sure our kids are improving weekly. Last year, our girls had a historical season, winning the region championship for the first time in school history. Broke a lot of relay records this past season. But the biggest deal that we improved every week, and this year we expect the exact same thing, is to get in there and get that work and be attention to detail and just get better each week. That is our goal.
That's great. That's great. We'll stay with Griffin and talk about practice, right? Track and field has a lot of disciplines. And there's a lot of different things that you have to work on, and each athlete has specific needs, right?
Yes.
So how do y'all structure a practice to get the kids what they need, but also to prep the team for success?
Well, at this time, we're in what we call the conditioning phase, which is the toughest part of the season. Track and field is a very tough sport. When you're not in shape, it hurts. So have to focus on getting the kids in shape. At this time, we daily start our practice with a timed mile every single day, and we expect our boys to run in under 7 minutes and our girl under 9 minutes. So that's a pretty fast mile. After that, we get into our static stretching. We'll stretch and get loose, and then we'll start our dynamic stretching, okay? And after that, we'll go to our hip mobility stuff, with hurdles, high knees, and all that stuff, trying to create hip flexibility, and then our workout. So at this time, we're doing much longer stuff. Usually, during the season, we'll do it for our sprinters. We do short stuff, hundreds, 40s, 60s. At this time, we're doing 600s, 400s, 300s, trying to get them in shape. And once we get them in shape, we think we'll be going in the right direction, and we'll have a pretty good season this year.
Yeah, pretty much the same, man. I used to work with Coach Andrews, so our workouts are pretty much identical. Right now, we're just basically getting the guys and girls in shape. There's no such thing as sprinting right now. Everything we do pretty much is to get them in shape. So it's for everybody, it's more long distance conditioning and a lot of stretching and a lot of flexibility. That's basically what we're doing right now, trying to get them in the track shape. And once we get closer to that first meet, that's when we separate everybody according to, sprinters, jumpers, and each individual event.
Also, the thing that we're focusing on during the conditioning stage is mechanics and just being able to have a stronger core. As a former runner myself, I do know that having a good foundation as a runner, it carries you a long way. So working on mechanics to create efficiency to create a better runner for this season.
Awesome. That's great. We'll stay with Spalding and talk about what you look for in student athletes. What makes a track student athlete successful?
I told all the track athletes who came out thus far, all I need is energy and effort. I can't teach energy. I cannot teach effort. I can teach mechanics, how to jump, how to throw, but I cannot teach you how to want to be great. As long as they give me everything they have, I will give them everything that I have.
I agree, man. With track and field, this is one of the sports that's a little bit different than every other sport. It's really about want to. If you got if you have the desire, if you really want to be successful in track and field, because it's not easy, coming up every single day, sprinting and running 400 meters or running a 4x4, 800 meters, all of those things it's tough. So if you have the desire and the want to do those things, of course, you're going to be successful in track and field, and I think that's half the battle, just actually really want to do it.
Yeah, for me, it's attention to detail. Track and field is a strategy sport as well. I'm totally opposed to just going just running. You have to know how to run each event, okay? There are certain phases for each event, 800 meters, 400 meters, your sprint phase, your steady phase. Those things you have to learn as the season progresses. So when our kids learn how to pay attention to detail and pick up the fundamentals of running, that's when we'll be at our best, And I expect our kids to be consistent with that and to continue to show up every day and make it work.
That's great. Now, I just appreciate you guys' focus that it's not just getting out there and running a couple laps, right? There's a lot of work in the blocks. There's a lot of work about strategy, right? When I make a move, if I'm running that 800 or I'm running the 1600, even in that 200 and the 400 about, switching, out of that drive phase into my, steady gait, making sure we're good. And so I appreciate you guys focusing on that because I don't think a lot of people that are watching on the live stream realize the amount of work and the amount of strategy that goes into track and field, that it's a thinking sport. It's not just a running sport.
Correct.
And so I appreciate you guys bringing that out and focusing on that. Well, let's talk about success, right? Griffin High, Spalding High. We've got multiple individual track state champions from both schools, right? We've had people that have won, great awards individually and team state championships in our history here. We've got folks that are in the Olympics that have won medals, right? This community is a track community. For a long time, we have produced great track athletes. Being said, what does a good season look like for Griffin High track? And then what does a good season look like for Spalding High track? Because we're down in Albany, everybody's not going to cross the finish line first. So how
Right.
would you define success for your team?
Well, my goal, I expect every person on the track team to have a personal record at the end of the season. In my opinion, that's the best we can ask for. We say, do your best and forget the rest. If you have that mentality, you are going to have a personal record at the end of the season. Not only on the track, but also in the classroom, in the hallways, at home, everywhere. Just be a better person and try to improve. Try to be the best that you possibly can be. There's our goal as coaches, as track athletes or whatever. Our goal is to be the best we possibly can be. If we get that, if you have a personal record at the end of the season, no matter what, we're successful.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, I think it's exactly what he said, man. Every individual athlete, man, from the field events to the sprinters to the milers and the long distance runners, they all set their own PR. Or at the beginning of the year, we talk about their PRs and what they're hopefully to attain. So if they're able to come close to that, or at least come close to it, I think that's a successful season. But team goals. We have team goals, and it's very hard in track and field, especially in our region. We got a bunch of competitive schools there, so it's very important, collectively that everybody, like Coach Andrew said earlier, we all just have to get better every single week.
I talked to some of the athletes, and we all came to an agreement that a successful season for us will be for all our athletes, well, especially our senior, all our athletes to be put out there, broadcast on that big stage, and for everybody to get a scholarship to college. At the end of the day, the most important thing for our students to further their education is to go to the next level. So for me, a successful season for at least all my seniors to get a scholarship to go to school of their choice.
That's great. That's great. Coaches, appreciate y'all and appreciate your hard work. Right, track is a very difficult sport to coach, and I don't know if everybody realizes that because of the number of different variables that take place. And so we appreciate your hard work for our kids. We're going to go now to our student athletes. We're going to start first with Taylor and work our way all the way down the Griffin athletes, then go to Kiwanis and work our way down to the Spalding athletes. The first question is going to be real easy. All you got to do is tell us your name, your grade level, and your favorite event. your favorite event to run or jump or pole vault, whatever it is. All right, Taylor, go ahead.
Okay. My name is Taylor Lattimore. I'm a junior, and my favorite event would be the 4x1 because of the energy it brings, and it gets everybody excited.
There you go.
Hi, my name is Savannah Welch, and I am a senior. My favorite event is the 200. I just like watching people run it.
There you go. Hannah?
Hello, my name is Hannah Carlisle. I'm a junior, and my favorite event is 1600. It's because it's not too long, but it's not too fast, too.
All right, there you go. There you go. Jordan?
Hey, my name is Jordan Moulton, and my favorite event is to run the 4x1 because I love the energy and my other events.
Great. Hey.
My name is Avery Williams. I'm a junior, and my favorite event is the 4x1 because I like the competition.
Cortavia?
My name Cortavious Compton. I'm a sophomore. My favorite event is the 200 because if I mess up, I still got a chance to come win.
Great.
My name Q1 Davis. I'm a senior at Spalding High School. My favorite event, 200 meter. It just show what. No, yeah.
My name is Jonala Andrews. My favorite event is the 4x1 because of the competition, and I like running with my girls.
My name is Katari Castlin. I'm a senior at Spalding High, and my favorite event is the 200.
My name is Makai Fonfield. I'm a junior, and my favorite event to run is the 100.
So now we're going to talk about your strengths as a track athlete, okay? So I want you guys, we're going to start with Alexander, work our way all the way back down to Taylor, all right? So you know your order. So I want you to think about your strength as a track athlete, all right? And tell us how that makes your team successful.
Get all our talent.
Right. Thanks. Kaya?
I think my biggest strength would be the determination to do whatever I need to do to get to where I need to be in track, and that helps my team because now they realize that they can depend on me if they need something, so we can get where we need to be.
That's great. Katara, and so what are your strengths as a track athlete, and how do you use those to make your team successful?
I would say my biggest strength is wait, come back to me. I gotta think about that.
Okay, all right, come on, Janelle. Your strengths. So talk to us about what you're good at, right? Is it, you feel like you're a strong sprinter? Do you think you're a strong leader?
I could say sprinting wise, they can depend on me. Like I do multi-events, so yeah.
That's great. That's great. Look, and that's really important, right? Especially in track where you're trying to construct a team, having flexibility to put you maybe at the beginning or the end of a relay or to have you in multiple events, all right? Go ahead.
I think I always have something positive to say. I really don't know what it is.
Hey, that's a really good attribute, right? And so that positive attitude can be contagious to the team. So, Q1?
Well, my biggest strength is just I always like to compete, being the first to finish, and just encourage my team to try to keep up with me and try to stay strong and just give everybody better.
Great, that competitiveness. That's great. Cortavious?
My biggest strength is I'm a quick starter. I get out in the blocks very fast. You know, you and me for first leg.
Great. Hey.
my biggest strength is leadership, because it's not really easy to be a leadership, especially be a leader during track, but I'll try my best with it. So I think, yeah, that's what I think my biggest strength is leadership.
That's awesome. Jordan?
Biggest strength is my determination, because I'm always trying my hardest to get to my goal. Even though it may be far away, I'm still always pushing myself, and I feel like I'm giving that off to other people as well.
Great. Hannah?
I believe my greatest strength is my endurance, so I'm able to push my teammates some more to keep going.
Awesome. Savannah?
I think that my biggest strength is me being competitive, because when I feel like I have competition, it makes me push more.
Yep. Taylor?
I feel like my biggest strength is having a push-through mentality. I feel like having a push-through mentality lets my teammates know that you can always push through and never give up.
Awesome. We're going to start now with Cortavius and work our way outside, and then we'll quick hop over to Spalding and start with Kiwan and work our way outside. This question is about practice, right? Talk to us about the most important part of practice from your perspective as an athlete and what you individually are working on getting better, okay? So what does practice look like for you as an athlete, and what are you getting better at working on? Go ahead, Cortavius.
Practice has been good, but the thing I most think important, finna to last 150 strong. They would call Andrew train us for every day, and I do the 200, so I like finna just last 150 strong.
Right, Abram.
I'll pick up what he said is just finish strong. We work on that every day. We work on that every day to always finish through the line strong, keep everything keep going. At the right stuff. So I think the right beats and stuff and determination is practice and stuff.
That's great. Great. So the question, right, is to think about Jordan, right, how's practice been, and tell us what practice looks like from your perspective, but also what are you individually trying to improve on?
I'm going to say this now. I have not been with my team lately practicing, because I have been doing wrestling for this season. But so far, I feel like as in practice, practice should be focused on stretching more, like getting your body more loose. And I'm going to pick up on them, finish your 150 strong. Even though you're tired, you got to have something left in you to push.
Hey, let's stay there, Jordan. Tell us how you take those things that you're working on in wrestling and transfer those to the track.
From wrestling, I have took stretching, because now, back then I was not as flexible, but now ever since I got in wrestling, it helped me open my body up more, helped me run faster, and help with my stamina, because I'm always moving my body.
That's great. That's great. All right, Hannah, tell us about practice, right? What's practice look like from your perspective, and what do you as an individual, right? I think you're the only distance person here. So how is what you focus on in practice maybe different than everybody else that focuses on sprinting?
Well, I've been trying to build up my endurance back up again, and also at practice we do still focus on speed work as well as distance runs. That's what we've been focusing on at practice.
That's right. That's right. Hey, that speed's important, right? You got to finish strong. So, Savannah, tell to us about practice.
So I recently started coming to practice because I'm in season right now for indoor track. But so far it's been pretty good. We've been working on finishing through and stuff like that. And I'm focusing on being more consistent. So, yeah.
Taylor?
Practice for us been good. I feel like we have good team chemistry, so practice runs pretty smoothly. And I feel like what I should focus on more is my stamina as well, because I'm more of a dancer, so I'm trained to perform instead of, run. Like my stamina could be better.
Great, great. So we'll keep on and work our way down. And the question, remember, is talk to us about practice. How's it been this season? But also, what does it look like from your perspective and your specialty, and what are you as an individual trying to improve?
Practice been looking pretty good. Everybody working on technique. Coaches just teaching them how to finish through, working on form and all of that. From my perspective, it's a little hard, but people been working on being more consistent on what they doing, finishing through. And me, I'm just working on my technique, working on finish through, and try to be the first and help everybody else compete.
Right? No.
Well, I haven't started track practice yet because I'm in cheer right now. But when I go, I'm focusing on being consistent and like, yeah.
Well, do you think cheer prepares you for track? No, not really.
Yes.
A little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, guitar. Talk to us about practice.
I'm still in my indoor season right now, but I do know like the most important thing right now should be like consistency, your endurance, and stamina basically. Me personally, I'm working on like my top end and finishing strong through my 200.
That's great.
Practice has been really hard because running is tiring, but but those practices have helped us able to be to be able to finish the race strong and to start the race strong. And I feel like something I need to improve on is maybe my form in running and being able to keep my form as I finish through the line.
I'd say practice has been going great so far. You know, like she was saying, it's tough. Some days you look up in the sky and you just start seeing waves, things, stuff like that. But
Great, and that's great. That mindset's important. And I think something that's interesting too with your coaches working with those of you that are in season, right, working on your indoor, and also folks coming off and off season, and folks already in season in other sports. So that's, I know for all of you guys, difficult to transition, but we appreciate your hard work. Our last thing is about your team, right? Track for the high school level is an individual sport, but it's also a team sport, right? And so talk to us about your team, right? What makes your team special? Why are you proud of your team? Or tell me what your team's biggest strength is, right? And so we'll start with Kiwan and go down, and then we'll come over to Griffin and Cortavius and go down, right?
I just believe our team have a lot of potential and talent to, get where they want to be at, and yeah.
I think the same thing Kiwan said because like I just feel like everybody on the team is just the word. Yeah, they're growing. Yeah.
I agree with them, but I'll talk about my experience on the team and like how I'm proud. From ninth grade year, it's like a bit different. Every year is different. I feel like this would be one of the best years, and I look forward to like seeing how far the team go as a whole during regionals, sectionals, and state.
Hi.
I feel like our team's biggest strength is mostly like our coaches. Our coaches give us the motivation to keep pushing through and keep us on the track team, even though we feel like we need to quit because how hard it is. So I feel like the coaches help our team get the best that we need.
Alexander?
I feel like our biggest strength as a team is the bond that we have among. We're striving to be better and pushing each other to do better.
Over here to Cortavius. And so the question, right, think about your team, right? Team's biggest strength, or what makes you proud of your team, or what makes your team special in your view?
My team biggest strength, and like everyone over here, they got chemistry. I came in my ninth grade year, relays. Everyone, we made it to state. So like, that's the biggest strength. Like, we all got chemistry.
That's great. Yep. Hey.
I think our team's biggest strength is that we act like a family. Like, we go to practice. We practice like a family. We go to track meets and we run like a family. We always stick together. We'll always be together. So I think our biggest strength is that how we act like a family and stuff, and we always be motivating each other.
That's great. Jordan?
I'm gonna piggyback off of Abram and Corte. I feel like our biggest strength is us being a family because we don't see each other anybody different than the other person, and even though we may have our flaws, at the end of the day we're still close.
That's great. Hannah?
I think our team's biggest strength is how we always cheer each other on. Like, no matter how it's going, there's always someone just cheering you on.
That's great. Savannah?
Like Hannah said, the team is very motivational and they're motivated to do better. And yeah.
I feel like our team is very team oriented, so we're all about our team. We have our individual times, but we always there, like, we're a family, like they said, and I just feel like that just helps us run better as a team.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've got a follow-up for Savannah and for Qatar. Y'all both mentioned y'all run indoor track as well. So will y'all talk to us real briefly kind of about the difference in your indoor, season with your other teams versus your school season, and maybe the difference in indoor and outdoor track for all of us? Are there different mindsets, a different thing that you have to think about? Obviously, we know the track's a little different, but talk to us about how those correlate with each other. Who wants to go first? Neither of you. All right, let's say Katara. There you go.
It's definitely a big difference. Me personally, I'm not a huge indoor fan. Like, I'm ready for the school season to start, but it's a drastic change. Like, the track indoors, like, it's split from 4 to 2. So the 200 it'd be rough in indoors rather than outdoor. But I'm just working on, like, PR and staying consistent.
Great. Savannah?
Me personally, I like indoor. It's much different. Like, the track is different. It's more competition. Yeah, it's just.
All right. Here, we got a couple from our local media. Mr. Shivers from the Griffin Daily News.
I'll start with Taylor. Taylor, what's the biggest goal you wish to accomplish this season?
I would say making it to state, because I made it to regions, I think, with relays, but I want to make it to state, like, on an individual level.
That's awesome. Next question for Savannah. Savannah, you have any goals of attending college once you graduate?
At first I didn't, but now I am planning to run in college, so I gotta focus on getting the times that I actually need.
This question is for Hannah. Hannah, what do you say your biggest strengths are on the team?
I would say my biggest strengths are just my endurance. I can run for a bit.
Next question is for Jordan. Jordan, you say you're on a wrestling team as well. Going from wrestling to track, what would be some of the biggest challenges transition from sport to sport?
I would say the biggest challenge is keeping up with my team because they've been out there longer than I have, and it would be hard for me to keep up. But with me doing wrestling, it has improved my flexibility and my stamina. So I feel like when I go out there, I'll have a little chance of staying with them.
Next question is for Abraham. What would you say would be the biggest difference from last year into this year?
Biggest difference is that I have more confidence in myself than I did last year. Last year I went in, I didn't think I was gonna make it far, and I went farther than I expected. And so this year I'm expecting to make it even farther than I expected in last year. So I'm expecting myself to go somewhere higher than I did last year.
This next question for Cartavius, pretty much a similar question. What would be the biggest difference from your freshman year up into your senior year for you?
Our seniors that left. It was a senior called named CD. He really helped me a lot with my sprints, getting out the blocks. So like, I just want to put in more work than I did last year and hit more better PRs.
Coach Andrews. Coach Andrews, what are you looking for the most with this group right here as opposed to the other seasons that you had?
Well, for the boys, we were extremely young last year. Like Abrams just said that he had no idea how good he was. His company was a freshman last year, just now started getting into track and field. Mr. Jordan right here, same deal. We have all those guys back this year, okay? So I'm expecting to see us. I think we have a shot this year to be a really good boys track team. We were a good track team last year. This year I think that we have a chance to be really good. The reason I say that because I see what I'm seeing. What I see in that practice is effort and energy and desire. The kids are working. And anybody knows Coach Andrews knows that nothing I do is easy. It's hard. And we understand that consistent hard work is the way to go. And I'm looking forward to seeing them excel and do well for this 2024 season. Our girls the exact same way. Of course, they broke a lot of records last year. We lost some key seniors, but the ones that's still here now are doing the exact same thing. They're working their tails off, and we expect a good season from them as well.
I'm glad you brought it up last year. I know last year you did have a lot of people on your team that received scholarships to go to the next level. How many you see on your team this year probably playing at the next level or participating in the next level?
Well, I want every one of them to believe that they can go on this level, every single one of them. You know, I'm not going to tell anyone that you can't, because I think every person that's sitting here and on our track team can go to college and do whatever they want to do. You know, we have a powerful God, and if they got the will, there is a way.
Thank you, Coach Andrews. Next question for Coach Kearney. Coach Kearney, what are you looking forward to this season with the group you have, especially the senior class?
To separate the boys from the girls, I think the boys, we had a bunch of unfinished business. We had guys that fell off the wayside, some were not consistent, not showing up there every single day, and I still thought we were a talented group. We got to be way more consistent and, you know, figure out a way to be competitive. From the girls' standpoint, you know, we had a bunch of success. Had some records that were broken for the girls. But again, we still got to be much more consistent and find a way to, you know, compete and get to the top. We have all the tools. I feel like we're capable of being extremely good, but we just got to be a little bit more consistent.
Coach Williams, I know you said this is your second year with the track team. So from first year to this year, what are some of the things that you learned from last year that you're applying to this year?
To be honest, I saw who my athletes were last year, and I tend to create more. Last year, I fell in love with the potential that the team had. I saw a lot of athletes who wanted to be better, who wanted to get better, but they were like missing like little key pieces here and there. And there was some who just wanted to do it, but they just didn't know how. So from last year to this year, I intend to get them every single tool and whatever they need to be a dominant track team, boys and girls, especially my seniors. And Makai, I'm not gonna leave her out.
Next question is for Keywan. Keywan, you was one of the members on the team last year that broke a record. So what are you looking forward to this year, and what's some of your goals after breaking records last year?
I plan on breaking some more records. Go ahead, win states, win 200, break the 200 record, break 100, break long jump, and just put spot on the face of the map and show everybody that Griffin good at what they doing.
Miss Andrews, Miss Andrews, what you looking forward to this year?
To become better as a runner, to get my 100 time down, the PR. I want us to beat the record for 4x1. That's really it.
Same question for you, Miss Quattar.
Repeat the question.
What are you looking forward to this year?
Okay, So again, from last year, we broke the 4x1 record several times. So I would like to transfer that into this year. I would also like to break 12 and break 24 in my 1 to 200 and get the school record before I leave, and also win long jump. So that is pretty much my goals for this year.
Miss Micaiah, this question is for you. I know you play flag football as well. So what would be some of the things that you learned from flag football that you can kind of transition into track?
Probably staying on course, because the moment that I get distracted, the moment I lose my focus. So I feel like staying on course and still having that determination, it helped me in track to keep my determination and keep my focus on what I need to do.
Okay, thank you. Last question is for Alex. Alex, I know you plan on going to the Navy after school. So how do you plan on taking the things you learned from Spalding into the Navy?
I'd say the biggest thing, of course, is focusing on breaking all my personal records. I know the Naval Academy, their records are very strict. They're very hard to meet. But with the help of my coaches, I feel like they can help me to maximize my talents and my potential and just shape myself into that person that I need to be able to run for the Naval Academy track team.
Thank you. Last thing we've got is for our coaches. If you'll tell us, where can we see your track and field athletes competing? Tell us about any home meets we've got or anything that is big on your calendar that you'd love to see the community come support.
Yes, our track schedules are in our main office at Griffin High School. You can come pick them up at will. Our biggest meet this year, a home meet, Irvin Ross Invitation. At this time, we have 23 teams signed up for it. Teams like Valdosta, Villa Rica, Monroe, Albany, teams from everywhere coming down. It's going to be a really big event. We're excited about it. We're looking forward to competing in that meet. It'll be a good meet to come to. It's March 2nd.
March 2nd, thanks. And Spalding, when can we see you guys at home or close, or what are some key dates that are on your calendar for this season?
Coach Andrews forgot to mention that we'll be attending March the 2nd, but March the 2nd. Well, yeah, March the 2nd, we'll be at the Irvin Ross. And we have several more meets that are scheduled, but the schedule, I'm going to actually have it posted on social media. So if anybody wants to get it, I'll post it on social media, and we'll have hard copies. We also have the Bart Pickney on the 20th of April. That'll be at Spalding High School. But that's all I have as of right now.
Great. We appreciate all y'all being here. All you guys do. You compete, you work hard, and I can tell that you guys are very great representatives of Griffin High and Spalding High. So thank you for that, and thank you for being here and for sharing your views with us, your opinions with us, and your expertise with us. We're going to take a picture now, so we'll get the athletes in the front and the coaches on the outside. And then we're going to take a picture, and as we do that, we're going to transition into baseball next, so we can get our baseball student athletes on into the prep room as we take our picture with the athletes. All right. We'll have a brief transition. Y'all want to go in that room? Get y'all just I'll talk. Right here, right here, right here. We're joined here by the baseball teams from Griffin High and Spalding High as we continue our Griffin Spalding County Schools Spring Sports Media Day. We're going to again speak with the coaches, and then we'll go to our student athletes to learn about baseball, about what's going on this season, and when you can catch the Bears and the Jaguars on the diamond in the upcoming season. Our first set of questions will be asked to our coaches. We'll start with Griffin and then go to Spalding. Coaches, introduce yourselves. Talk to us about the student athletes to your left and right, including their position and their grade level. Hey, do that one more time. You're good. You're good.
Yeah, I hear you
Had a
now.
little technical issue. You're good.
All right, this is Coach Qualane Barham. To my right, I have John Lopez. He is a senior. He plays first, second, shortstop, and pitcher. And to his right, I have Tavion Gates. He is a junior. He plays catcher and first base.
Thanks, Coach Barham. Coach Harris, go ahead.
Yeah, my name's Seth Harris, head coach at Spalding High School. To my left here, I have Dalton James, senior, third baseman, pitcher. He can play a little bit of first also. Junior, Ben McDaniel, pitcher, outfielder. And then I have Nate Webb, sophomore. He's an outfielder and left-handed pitcher.
Great. Appreciate it, coaches. We're going to talk about this season, right? What are you most looking forward to this season? We'll start with Coach Harris and then go to Coach Barham.
Biggest expectation, okay, is three things: commitment, character, and competing, okay? We talk with these guys every day about it, showing up. I tell them how they're going to leave their legacy when they leave Spalding High School. Our number one goal is to make sure these kids are well-rounded athletes, individuals, and student athletes. That's going to make them better men in life. So that's kind of what we look at. Work ethic, huge. If we don't have that, we're not successful.
Great. That's it. Coach Barham?
What Coach said, mainly looking for growth amongst my players. You know, as first-year coach, with them just to trust in me and my coaching staff in the process, you know, to grow on the field and off the field. Like right now, we're working on fundamentals of the game. A lot of them just lack the fundamental part. But once they know they're in good hands and good guidance of my coaching staff, they'll be able to grow.
Perfect. We'll stay, Coach Barham, with you and then go back to Coach Harris and talk to us about practice, right? Baseball is a tough sport to practice, right? You got one field and you only got limited cage space, right? So how do you practice your teams? How do you organize your practices for success? And also, really, how do you set up your practice schedule to make your teams meet their goals?
Some days we start off practice, you know, right off the bat, right out of school. And some days we'll have study hall for an hour before we start practice to let them know that you're a student first before you become the athlete. We always start practice off with, stretches. Also, our main key is to get the defense to work together. You know, lack of no errors. You know, we come out to practice, you know, try to focus on the defensive side of the ball. Let them know that, hey, once we be able to make the stops, you know, we'll be able to get to the offense then.
Great. Coach Harris, talk to us about practice.
Yes, I'm very fortunate to have 6 coaches on staff, well-rounded baseball guys. So we do a combination of mixing it up between offense, defense. These kids, and pitching. So these kids, they get after it. You know, we preach pride, Jaguar pride, personal responsibility, and daily effort. Okay, if they don't give us that effort, we start over. So most of the time we start out with fundies, with a lot of defensive fundamentals. We got to have defense to win championships. And then we go on and we split up, take double fungo. When our batting practice rounds are set up between about 5 groups, we go 3 rounds, sack, bunt, drag, okay, 4, we go opposite field. We're big opposite field hitters. If you can't backside hit, you can't win baseball games. You got to move runners over, second to third, third to home. Hit the ball on the line, hit it on the ground, hit it hard.
That's great. We'll stay with you, Coach. Talk to us about your team, right? What key things do you look for this season for your student athletes, and what makes in your case, Coach Harris, a successful Spalding Jaguar baseball player?
Spalding's a rich baseball tradition school. I've been there 8 years. I was taught well by guys before me. The standard is, the expectation is that we're going to win. We're going to work. So these kids know that. So when it comes down to it, okay, well-rounded. I know that when we step off the bus and we get back on the bus, these guys came to fight and gave it their all. And that's what we preach every day.
Coach Barham.
Well, I see within them effort over excuses. I'd rather you show me more effort than give me excuses. I try to tell them every single day, effort way over excuses. Excuses are tools of incompetence that build monuments to nothing. Those who specialize in them are seldom good at anything else. So I know if you give me excuses on the field, I know what you're doing off the field. You know, you can't live life with excuses. So you miss a ball, show me the reason how you gonna make up for it instead of giving me a reason to complain about it.
That's great. And we're going to talk about success now. And Coach Harris, you mentioned it, right? We have a community that's had a rich baseball history, right? There have been 4 baseball state championships in Spalding County. We've had multiple teams over the past 15 years play for state championships or get in the Final Four. Spalding, lately has had a great run, and Griffin as well with, high draft picks and deep runs. So talk to us about success in 2024, right? Because all that doesn't matter now that the season started. What does successful season for Spalding High baseball look like in 2024, Coach Harris?
Successful. I could put this a couple of different ways. Success on the baseball field is make sure these kids are doing the right thing day in and day out. I know that everybody, I think we got 31, are fundamentally sound. That's successful to me. Once they leave, they can come back and tell me, hey, thanks for making an impact in my life. And that goes a long way. Successful is winning a region championship. It's tough in this region. Perry West Lawrence is pretty solid, okay? And we know that. The biggest thing is we know when we get off the bus, when we go down there, they come to us, it's game on. So that's one of the things that I tell these guys all the time, you know, we're going to rise up to the occasion.
Great, thanks, Coach. Coach Barham, same question, right? Success is maybe a little different for you. You said first-year coach, taking over this program that you know you got a lot of work to put in. I know you've been putting it in, but what does a successful 2024 Bears baseball season look like?
To win, and when I say to win, I don't mean just on the scoreboard. I let them know it's 3 levels of winning. You have to win as a young man at first, you know, in the community, being able to know that you're an example of Griffin High School baseball team. And win as a student athlete, win inside the school. And I don't mean just meeting the bare minimum requirements, being able to go above and beyond while you're in the classroom. Then you go on the baseball field and win as an athlete first. You know, the scoreboard can't determine the winning on the baseball field. You know, it depends how you go out there, give it everything you got, energy, and effort. That's how you win. So once we be able to accomplish those 3 goals of winning, then we'll be able to see success at the end of the day.
Great, great. We're going to go to student athletes now for a minute before we jump back to our coaches. So student athletes, first question, we'll start with Tavion and work our way to John, Dalton, Ben, and then Nate, right? And that's just tell us your name, introduce yourself, right? Tell us who you are, your grade, and go ahead and tell us your favorite position to play. Coach gave us all your positions that he puts you in, but where do you really like to play? Go ahead, Tavion.
My name is Tavion Gates. I go to Griffin High School. I'm a junior, and my favorite position plays first base.
John?
My name is John Lopez. I'm in 12th grade at Griffin High School, and my favorite position to play is second base.
All right. Dalton?
Dalton James. I'm a senior. I love to play. I play third, first, and pitch, but I really love to be on the mound.
Okay. Ben?
My name is Ben McDaniel, and I'm a junior at Spalding, and my favorite position is pitching.
Okay. Nate?
My name is Nate Webb. I am a sophomore at Spalding High, and I play outfield and pitcher, and my favorite position is center field.
All right. We're going to stay here with Nate and work our way back across. And let's talk about you as an individual. So what is your strength as a baseball player, and how do you use that strength to make your team successful? Nate?
A really well-rounded player. I am pretty active on the ball field, and I do everything my coaches tell me. I lead by example and do everything I can.
That's great. Ben?
I think my biggest strength is probably being able to keep my team up as a whole team and keep the energy up so that we don't get too down too early in the game.
Important. Dalton?
Strength as a player is to being able to overcome adversity. That way I can pick up the team in some of the rough positions we may have during this season.
That's vital. That's vital. John? So the question is, tell us about your strengths as a baseball player, and how do you use that to make your team successful?
To stay positive. That's my biggest strength, probably. Just so if we do get down, I can bring them back together and tell them to come on, we can get back into the game.
There you go. That's it. Tavion?
Biggest strength would probably be leadership and effort. Every time I go out on that field, I want to give 110% of what I got. And I also love to bring my teammates up whatever we do on the baseball field.
Wonderful, wonderful. Our next question is going to start with Dalton and work our way down to Nate, and then come over here to John and Tavion after. It's about improvement, right? Talk to us about practice, how practice has been this short time, but really what you're focused on early in this season improving as an athlete.
Well, practice has been going amazing so far this season. Everybody gets out there. We get out on the field early. We get out there before coach. We get the field ready, set up, ready to go. Everybody's looking forward to be on the field. We work hard, infield, outfield, worked hard every day. We're out there, we're showing that we're ready to play. And basically with the team, we want to work together. We start that teamwork together in practice. When we get out there, we're doing the field, we're all working together. There's not one person that's sitting around, there's nobody doing their own thing. So as the season go on, that will help us as game time comes around, we could be able to hit in situations we need to hit because we can trust the person in front of us.
Okay. Ben?
Practice has been good. We've got a lot of young guys that really show that they want to put in the effort, and I think that's a really good thing. Something we work on improving is, like Coach Harris said, our fundamentals. I believe that if you're fundamentally sound, you'll go pretty deep in the playoffs.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Nate.
Heard a lot. There is still a lot to work on with the team. Outfield's looking good, infield's looking good, hitting's coming together. We lost a lot of people last year, but we're looking to fill them spots and grow as a team.
Absolutely. John, talk to us about practice, right? How's it been so far? What are you focused on improving?
Practice been good. We've been going out there positive. Like if somebody makes an error, we'll tell them, come on, keep going. And something that we can improve on is fundamentals.
Great. Tavion?
John said practice been going good so far. Everybody's coming out there, putting in work, showing effort. We've been working on fundamentals so far, basically getting our swings back in right, make sure we're getting around the ball and stuff. And I think that this season will be a good season.
Wonderful. We've talked about you guys as individuals now. Let's talk about the team. This next question will start with John and then go to Tavion and then go to Dalton down to Nate, right? But it's about your team, not you as an individual. What do you think is your team's biggest strength and why? Go ahead, John.
Team chemistry. And why I say that is because everybody has a bond with each other. Like, we'll go out to eat, we'll talk. We just do stuff like a brotherhood. That's the reason. Yeah, team chemistry.
It's important.
As John said, we have a lot of team chemistry, and that combined with the new coaching staff we got, I have a lot of faith in them that they'll push us to where we need to be. So.
I believe that our biggest strength as a team is being able to work hard and work together all in one, all the way around, because as we go through the season, we're going to back each other. There's going to be the younger boy that's going to look up to the older boy that's going to always want to shoot for his position, or when he leaves, we're going to try to set role models. You know, the older's trying to be leaders, and I believe that this is going to help us with adversity through the season. Like on our board outside on the field, we have this quote is, are you going to be a marshmallow or are you going to be a rock? As in being a marshmallow, being soft on the outside, soft on the inside, or a rock being hard on the inside and hard on the outside, and being able to push your team to go through as the season, even no matter what happens.
Go ahead, Ben.
I think our biggest team strength is probably our daily effort that we put in. We've got a lot of guys that really want to get better, and it shows. We've improved a lot as this season goes on, and I think that'll really benefit us in the end.
Okay.
Strength, part of that's got to be our reliability. We all rely on each other. We know our job. We know what needs to be done, and we all help each other work to our end goal, and that's going to be playoffs.
Sounds great. Now, we got a couple questions now from Mr. Shivers from the Griffin Daily News. He's going to ask you guys, and I've got a couple follow-up, and we'll be done.
Okay, my first question is for Tavion. Tavion, what did you do during the off season to prepare for this season?
Off season, I played a lot of summer baseball to just keep me into things. And me and my friend Maurice, we've been going to the cage every single day trying to improve and get better in the off season, so that this season we can really show what we're made of.
Okay, thank you. John, being a senior this year, what are some of the things you plan on doing in regards to leading the team this year, being a senior?
Staying focused, making sure everybody's grades is good. I don't know.
That's good. Coach Barham, this is your first year at Griffin High, so what are you looking forward to during your first year, basically?
Just come in with a positive mindset, not focus on this year, not worry about anything that happened, prior to this year. Last year is gone, let's focus on today and be better and better every single day.
Okay. Next question, Coach Seth, Coach Harris. I know you're going to see a nice season at Spalding. What are some of the things that prior seasons that you're looking to? What are some of the things you're looking to from prior season going into this season that you can use to push the team?
I tell these guys every year, baseball is not a sprint, it's a marathon. We play 27 games. You know, we play a lot of non-region games to start off with. You know, put a lot of guys out there, see what they can do, see who's going to fight for me, who's going to want to win. So, you know, if we can catch, you know, a streak down the road, most of our longest playoff runs haven't started off real good. You know, it's cold, bats don't work real early on, arms aren't ready where they need to be. I mean, we work on it. But it's like I tell them, it's not about where you start, it's where you finish. And these kids understand that. You know, I've been fortunate to be here a while now, and we've instilled that. So these kids know the expectation every year when they come out is, hey, if we can hang in here, show a little bit of pride, put forth some work, where the season rolls around, we're going to make the state playoffs. And that's our goal every year. Is first thing is get to it, and then go far as we can.
Thank you, Coach. Next question for you, Dalton. Being a senior, do you have any plans to continue playing baseball once you graduate from Spalding?
I do plan on trying to go to college and try to get a scholarship for baseball this year. Any position, any college that was going to, or if they do try to reach out to me, that would be my number one interest after high school.
Good deal. You'll get one. Next question is for Ben. Ben, being a pitcher, what goes into your mind at the start of the game?
Yeah, I just try to keep a clear mind, not think too much about the situation, because if the situation gets too big, it might fall out of your hands, and that's not what we want.
Last question is for Mr. Webb. Mr. Webb, being a sophomore, what are some of the things that you want to do from your freshman season that you can use to better yourself your sophomore season? What are some of the things that you want to better yourself from? Some of the things that you learned from your freshman season that you can kind of better yourself and go into your sophomore season?
Given so easily. I want to show I'm out here to play. I want to show I'm out here to fight with people who are older than me. I want to make a stand on the field.
That's great. Got two more questions, then we'll wrap it up. Coaches, we're going to go back to you. So, Coach Barham, you've, you know, obviously are also one of our football coaches in the county, right? You had a run of success there at the middle school program. Talk to us about transitioning from the gridiron football field out to the baseball field, how you handled that as a coach.
I come to the baseball field with the same mindset similar to football. That was just development, build these boys up, the young men. But also when they're at the high school level, you know, you more into the man stage now. So you got to be more independent and not try to rely more on parenting. You know, so just try to build that mindset on growth, you know, and trusting in my process. So, you know, one of my goals was to be able the boys to trust me through the whole way. So when we had our tryouts, each and every player had to write me a why letter. You know, the reason why you playing baseball, and not just to come out here and have fun, but something more deep into it. I know that's going to drive you to become a better man each and every day on that baseball field. So if they make an error, hey, remember your why. If you mess up, remember your why, and that mindset is going to take them to the next level.
It's great. Coach Harris, you're a Spalding High School graduate, right? You've been here 9 years as the head baseball coach. Probably half the seasons that Spalding High baseball has been around, you've had a Spalding High uniform on, right? So talk to us what that means to you as a guy coming back home and serving as a head coach and kind of reinvesting in your community.
I've been fortunate to be able to coach at Spalding High School, especially, you know, where I'm from, you know the community. It's good to see, you know, people out in the community respect what we do, what type of kids we have, you know, how they're well-rounded in the community. You know, I was fortunate enough to play with two really great coaches that taught me a lot. I was actually able to coach with one of them. So, you know, I didn't start my career at Spalding High School because I was at Luella in Henry County. But I'm very fortunate to be back here, being able to put my time, effort, and energy in these kids. I tell these kids every day, it's not about me. I don't do this for me. I do it for you. just because my time's over with. I was able to experience that. Now it's their time, and that's what I want them to understand.
It's great. Coaches, give us one more thing, and that's tell us when they can catch you at home first home games, or some key home games that are going to be on your schedule you'd love to see the community show up for. Coach Barham, you want to go?
We have our first home game February the 12th. We'd love for everyone to come out there, field is updated. We have new cages. Everything is just coming together, so it would be welcoming to have the community come out and support the Bears.
Coach Harris, when can we catch Spalding High at home? What's either our first home game or a real important home game where you'd love to see the Spalding community show up?
First scrimmage game is February 8th against Stockbridge at home. That's a good chance to see what we got, to see some guys that might not play every day, but you see what they can do. Some younger guys. We were really young this year. I've got 3 seniors and 3 juniors. The rest of them is freshmen, sophomores, and 8th graders. So it's a new expectation to me. So it's a good chance to see what we have.
It's great, guys. Y'all did an excellent job representing yourselves, your families, your programs, and your schools. So we're proud of you. Can't wait to see what this marathon of a season, baseball is a long season. There's a lot of games, a lot of cold nights in the beginning, a lot of hot days in the end, but we appreciate the hard work you put in. Can't wait to see how far y'all go. We'll take y'all's picture now. If the athletes stand in the middle, we get the coaches on the outside, and we'll transition into girls soccer. So if our girls soccer athletes can come in the green room over here. I want to welcome back our viewers on the live stream and those live as we move into our last two sports for our Spring Sports Media Day, featuring Griffin Spalding County Schools high school athletes from Griffin High School and Spalding High School. It's now time to speak with our coaches and athletes from the girls' soccer teams for the Lady Bears and Lady Jaguars. We'll start with our coaches with a series of questions and then move to our student athletes. We'll start with our coach from Griffin, Coach Garrison, and then go to Coach Morgan for this first question from Spalding. And that's a real simple one. Introduce yourselves. Tell us about you, about your coaching experiences, any that you may have, and then also talk to us about these young ladies to your left and right. Tell us who they are, their positions, and their grade levels. Coach Garrison?
Hi, my name's Coach Garrison, and I'm the girls' head soccer coach. This is my 5th year as head coach. And to my right here, I have junior Kayla Olvera. She's a forward, and she can also play defense. And then right next to her, I have Sayani Villa, and she's a defender, and she's also a junior. And then senior, oh my God, I'm sorry, she's a senior. Sorry, Sayani. And then I have Caitlin Ivy. She's a junior, and she's also a midfielder.
Coach Morgan?
Hey, I'm Aubrey Morgan. I am the girls' head coach for Spalding. This is my first year coaching, and to my left, I have Maya Urick. She is a senior, and she is goalkeeper. Then I have Dayanara Anaya. She is a senior, and she is midfield. And then I have a Caroline Denos, senior, and she is outside mid.
Great. Thanks, coaches. We're going to ask you guys a couple questions. The first one is about this season, right? Coach Morgan, we'll go to you first, then Coach Garrison. Tell us what you're most looking forward to this year.
It's my first year, so I'm just most looking forward to getting to know the girls and watching their dedication at practice transfer to the field.
That's great. Coach Garrison?
The thing I'm looking most forward to is developing new players on my JV team, and then also we're looking forward to trying to get the number 4 spot to try and get in the playoffs this year.
Great. So let's talk about practice, right? So what are you going to be focusing on in practice to prepare for this upcoming season? Coach Garrison first, and then Coach Morgan.
For practice, we're really working on our defending skills and our passing skills and our attack game. We're working on developing ball skills with our JV squad because we have a bunch of players who haven't played before. So we're working on ball skills, ball control, then also working with the varsity, working on the passing and attacking game, and then working on defending.
Great. Coach Morgan?
So this year we are working on skill development, team building, and just making sure the girls have fun this year.
All right, so let's talk about key things you look for in student athletes. We'll start with Coach Morgan and then go to Garrison. Coach Garrison, tell us what do you look for in a Spalding Lady Jag soccer player?
So we are looking for a commitment, making sure that they portray team building, and I think that's about it.
All right, how about Coach Garrison? Talk to us about a Lady Bear soccer player. What does that look like, and what do you look for as a coach?
As a coach, I look for character. I look for good character in my players. I also look for leadership skills, and I look for good work ethic.
That's great. We're going to stay with Coach Garrison and then finish with Coach Morgan. This is the last coach's question, and that's about success, right? As coaches, we define success in a lot of different ways. Sometimes success is defined by what's on the scoreboard. Sometimes it's about life development for our students. Sometimes it's about skill development. But what does a successful 2024 Lady Bears soccer season look like to you, Coach Garrison?
A successful season to me, really it looks like a group of girls who have come together as a team and as a family, and girls who have fun together. So I want them to have fun when they're playing soccer. I don't want it to just be all seriousness and we have to win every single game. I tell the girls every year, I said, our goal is to win one more game than we won last year. I try not to put too much pressure on them, and so far it's been working for the past few years.
That's great. Coach Morgan, what does a successful 2024 Lady Jags soccer season look like?
Just want them to perform their best every time they get on the field, and individual growth, not only for myself but for the girls, and making sure this is a good last season for our seniors.
Awesome. That's great. Those are all great goals and great ways to measure success. We're going to talk to our student athletes now. This first question, Caitlin, we're going to start with you and work our way all the way down to Caroline on the other end, okay? It's an easy one, so just tell us your name, tell us your grade level, and tell us your favorite position to play.
It's Caitlin Ivy. I'm in 11th grade, and I play as the wing.
My name is Sayani Villa. I'm a senior, and I'm a defender.
My name is Kayla Olvera, and I'm a junior, and my favorite position to play is striker.
Maya?
Name's Maya Urich. I'm a senior this year, and I'm the goalkeeper.
My name is Dayanara Anaya, and I'm a senior, and I like to play midfielder.
Hi, my name is Caroline Dinos. I'm a senior, and I'm an outside midfielder.
Thanks, ladies. We're going to start with Caroline and work our way back on this next question, and that's about you as an individual. I want you to think about what are your strengths as an individual player, and how do you use those to make your team successful? Caroline?
I feel like some of my strengths as a player would be being a leader and also being competitive. And for the team, for being a leader, I could lead the freshman and sophomore into being a good team player and a good soccer player as a whole. And also, with being competitive, using that to push the girls to want to to win. Not that we always have to win, but at least try to win.
Great.
I think my strength is being a team player, and I also encourage other players to work together as a team and work harder.
That's great. Maya?
I think one of my strengths is I talk a lot. I'm a communicator on the field, and I think that's important for a goalkeeper because we see a lot more than some other players do. So I know that helps a lot, not only for the coaches but also for the girls on the field, just to have that extra form of communication.
That's great. That's great. We'll go over here to Kayla. And so the question, remember, is what are your strengths as a player, and how do you use that to make your team successful?
I would say my strengths as a player is I'm very competitive, so I have that drive, and I'm hoping it, influences other players as well, because winning may not be everything, but it's good to win. It feels good to win. And also my leadership, because I feel like I am a great listener, and I help out a lot of girls on the team.
That's great. Yanni?
I'm really competitive with it too. Leadership too. I help a lot of people, for my team. When they're down, I bring them up too.
That's great. That's great. Caitlin?
I think my strengths as a player would be my speed and also just keeping a positive attitude, because that can help uplift the rest of the team, and then we can play better.
That's great. That's great. For this next question, we're going to stay with Griffin and start with Kayla and work our way outside, and then go to Maya and work our way out. It's about practice and about improvement, right? So talk to us about how practice goes for your season, but also what are you as an individual working on improving?
Practice, we start off with running 2 miles, and I think that really helps with our stamina and our endurance, and it's going to help a lot during games. And we've been recently doing a lot more drills that's going to help with our footwork and more communicating, which is really important during the game. And as an individual, I think I really need to work on not getting frustrated easily and probably footwork.
Always. Sayani? Yeah, the question is about practice. How does practice go from your perspective, and what are you focused on improving?
I say communication. We do a lot of communication. We were practicing to pass the ball, footwork, like Kayla said. That's about it.
That's great. That's great. Caitlin, so how's practice been so far, but what are you focused on improving as an individual?
Practice has been good. We've been doing a lot of running. As Kayla said, we do 2 miles before every practice. And then I've been focusing on improving like just my footwork and everything, passing.
That's great. Maya, same question to you, and then your teammates as we go down. How's practice been, and what are you focused on improving as an individual?
Practice for us has been a lot of team building. Because we have a new coach, we're just trying to get to know each other and figure out who does what, because we have a lot of new girls as well, and how we can work with each other. And then with that comes the footwork and the cardio and all that. But I think for us, it's focusing on just building our relationships with our players.
It's very important. Dianar?
Practice has been really good. We've been doing basic stuff like passing, dribbling through defenders, finishing the ball. And as I'm seeing all this, I think the team's going to be really good, and we're going to be able to put everything together.
That's great. That's great. Caroline?
So practice this year has actually been really, really good. I know like in past years, sometimes going to practice has been I didn't really like want to go to practice, but this year it's been really, really fun having the time to like get to know the new girls that weren't here last year, and just like they've said, building the team up and getting to know each other. And what was the last part of the question?
What are you focusing on as an individual improving?
Okay. I feel like for me individually, I am focusing on not getting getting stage fright when getting into the game. I know for me, I always do really well at practice, and when the game comes, I always get really nervous, and I forget everything that we went over, all the drills that we did when the game actually comes. So I want to work on being able to move my going from practice and moving that to the game.
That's great. That's great. That transition can be hard. We'll stay with Spalding and go Maya to the outside of Carolina, and then come over here and finish with Kayla to Caitlin. And y'all talked about individual stuff, right? But now we're talking about the team. What is your team's biggest strength and why?
Like I had stated, we have new coaches, and for us seniors and juniors for the last 3 years, we've gone through coaches. So that's, been a bit of a struggle, just having to learn a new person and how they coach and how they want our team to work. So I think as a strength for, as juniors and seniors and some of the sophomores is being able to adapt and being able to bring what we've learned from our past coaches in with our new coaches. And I think that's really going to prove to be pivotal for this season because we've learned so many different things in such a short period of time.
Great, great.
Like Maya said, being able to adjust. We did have a lot of change for the past few years, and plus we lost most of the team last year. So I think we're doing really good on adjusting and working together as a team.
Caroline?
Building off of what they said, I think adaptability is definitely our biggest strength as a team. Again, like they've said, we've been through, I think, 3 coaches, and going through 3 coaches like that can be kind of a difficult transition for us, but as a team, we've been able to stick together, and yes, that's adaptability.
Great, great. We're going to go over to Griffin High now, talk to Kayla first, and then work our way out. Talk to us about your team's biggest strength and why.
So I would say that our team's biggest strength is definitely being able to separate everything outside from the field. So that way, once we're at practice or in a game, we're focused solely on that. And we won't get distracted, we won't let anything bother us. And if anything, like we're just communicating with each other, helping each other out, and just focused on that.
Yanni?
Great leadership. I really don't know how to explain it, but we are all do everything together, basically.
That's great. That's great. Caitlin, tell us about your team's biggest strength and why.
I think our team's biggest strength is just like communication, and for the most part, just like all getting along with each other, because that's like really useful, like on the field. make sure everyone gets along.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to take a couple questions from our Mr. Shivers from Griffin Daily News, and then I'll wrap us up with a couple questions. We'll take a picture. Go ahead, sir.
I'll start with Spalding this time. Carolyn, I know you mentioned that this is your third coach in 4 years. What are some of the things that you have learned over the years from the past going into this year?
So, one of the main things I think over the past 4 years that I've learned going through 3 coaches is that sometimes you definitely aren't going to love them, but you always have to respect them no matter what. And I will say something about our coach this year is that she played with us, or one of our assistant coaches, she actually played with us a few years back, or I think 3 years she graduated, and having her around has been really nice to like have someone who you used to play with, and now you got to see them grow, and they kind of assist when she assists us within coaching. It's really cool.
Okay. Next question is for Dilanara. Okay. Outside midfielder, what does that position do?
Outside midfielder?
Yes.
Really, I'm just controlling the ball in the middle of the field. I feel like most passes goes to the midfielders, and I have to like really focus. And also like most of the pressure is in midfielders. So I feel like I have to like really learn like ball control. I have to learn like where to pass it to the wingers and stuff. And yeah.
Next question is for Maya. Maya, being the goalkeeper, when you say that one of the hardest position to play?
I think it definitely comes with its challenges. I'm not a huge runner, so I do appreciate that part of it, but not to invalidate the sense that it does take a lot of cardio to be a goalkeeper, getting up and down and using a lot of your strength to talk. But I do think it's one of a difficult position. It also depends on how much heart you have in it. Like you can be a midfielder. Like Diana is an amazing midfielder. Caroline's an amazing outside midfielder. But they have heart, so I couldn't do it to the extent that they do it because they have so much more practice. And so their position is difficult for me, whereas my position is difficult for them. So I think it's all about the skill and the heart that you have for the game.
Coach Morgan, first year coach, what are some of the things you implement in your first year?
Like I said before, just team building. These girls, they've been together for, 4 years. So, and then we have an up and coming JV, and I'm looking for them to help me with them because I've never coached before, so and they're kind of coaching me too. So, but yeah, just team building.
Thank you, Coach Katie. It seems like you got a senior group based off your seniors and juniors that you brought here. What are some of the things you use? What are some of the things that you're doing to kind of capitalize on some of that senior leadership? Well, experience group, I should say.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
Experience.
What are some of the things that you use? What are some of the things that you're using to capitalize on some of that senior experience this year?
So we're using the girls. So Sayani's my senior. I have about 4 other seniors. So we're really using them and our junior squad to help show an example for our JV. So basically moving them into more communication, more work ethic, more responsibility.
Okay, thank you, Coach. Kyla, I know you're a forward on the team. What are some of the things you like about being a forward?
My name is Kayla.
Kayla, oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
But being a forward, I definitely love scoring, and it's like such an adrenaline rush just getting to see the goal go inside the net and cheering with your teammates. I love being with my teammates, and it's just a great feeling.
Okay. Next question is for Saviana. Sayana, I'm sorry. What are you looking forward to for your senior year?
Or to like winning more games. Basically winning more games and talk more.
Okay. Thank you. Last question for Miss Ivy. Miss Ivy, I know you play volleyball as well. What's the most important thing about being a dual sport athlete?
I think like time management, also just like making sure that like you can like handle doing your school and the sports, but just like I don't know. I would just say time management. Like
Thank you.
Great, that's great. Ladies, y'all have done an excellent job today. You can tell that you guys put a lot of thought into your answers and your preparation. We appreciate that, and also wish you the best of luck this season. Coaches, will you let us know when the first time we can catch the Lady Jags and the Lady Bears soccer team at home or somewhere close? I think you guys have a tournament. You're both going to be in the first week of February, is that right?
Yes, we have the Jag Cup we're going to play at Spalding. So I know you can catch Griffin High School February 6th and February 8th at the stadium. Now we also have a scrimmage game on February 2nd, not too far from here at Upson Lee.
That's great, that's great. And when can we see Spalding first?
February 2nd.
All right, great, awesome. So we appreciate y'all. Great job today. So we're going to have a picture now. We'll get the student athletes in the middle and the coaches on the outside, and we'll transition into boys soccer. there's a red light. Green.
You gotta click your heart.
All right, we're back for our last set of the evening, which will be our boys soccer teams from Spalding High School and Griffin High School. We appreciate all of our viewers on YouTube viewing us live on the live stream, as well as all of those that are here in person. Today we're talking to the Griffin High School Soccer Bears and the Jaguars from Spalding High School. We'll start with our coaches, ask them 5 questions, followed by student athletes from both schools. Let's start. Coach Coggins from Griffin, if you'll introduce yourself, tell us who you are, tell us about your coaching experience, and then talk about the student athletes, including their name and grade level.
Well, my name is Coach Xavier Coggins. I've been at Griffin High coaching boys soccer for about 4 years now. To the right of me, I have Kevin Cervantes. He's a junior at Griffin High School. Next to him is Jose Camacho. He's a junior as well at Griffin High School. And down on the end, we have Brandon, and he's a senior at Griffin High School.
Great. And we'll go to Coach Hoffman. Tell us about yourself, introduce yourself, your experience, and your student athletes to your left.
My name's Coach Tyler Hoffman. I've been at Spalding this will be my 3rd year. To my left, I have Alex Sanchez. He's a senior. He can play anywhere he wants. Next to him is Justin Anaya. He's a sophomore midfielder. And at the end is CJ O'Neill. He's a senior defensive.
Great. Coaches, let's talk about what you're most looking forward to. We'll start with Coach Hoffman. What are you most looking forward to in the 2024 season?
Just continuing the standard that we've set with Spalding soccer. Making the playoffs, continue to be a disciplined team, building team chemistry, and pushing ourselves to be better and better every game.
That's great. Coach Coggins, tell us about what you're most looking forward to in 2024.
What I'm looking forward the most in 2024 is to compete. I want my kids to play at a high level each and every game, give 100% every practice, and get better each and every day.
We'll stay with you, Coach Coggins. Talk to us about practice, right? What are you focusing on in practice to prep for the season?
The main thing I'm focusing on right now at practice is teamwork, chemistry, building trust, and just playing as one as a team, as a unit.
Coach Hoffman, same question.
We haven't been practicing long, but really just kind of getting the guys used to each other, being that we lost, some guys last year. We've got some new kids coming in, some guys that are going to have to fill some gaps. So just kind of getting them where they need to be and building up the trust amongst each other and the team chemistry again, just trying to get it where it needs to be so we can make us a good run this year.
It's great. We'll stay with you, Coach Hoffman. Tell us some key things you're going to look for this season from your kids.
They need to be respectful, they need to, do what it takes in the classroom first in order to be out there on the field. They need to have that discipline with them if they're going to be successful in our program. And the commitment to work day in and day out.
That's great. That's great. Coach Coggins?
I'm going to kind of piggyback on what Coach Hoffman said. Basically just looking for the guys to give an effort each and every day. Just be great athletes.
That's great. And we'll stay here, Coach Coggins, and we'll go off script for a little bit. Talk to us about what it looks like and what you want your team to play like, right? There's a lot of different styles of soccer, whether it's possession-based or we want to, be very physical or we want to be fast and counterattack. If I come to a Griffin Bears soccer team, what do you want me to walk away and say, wow, they're really good at blank?
If you come to a Griffin Bears soccer game, I want you to walk away and say those guys are very disciplined. They play together as one. They're great at passing the ball, great at communicating and moving, and great at counterattacks.
That's great. That's great. Coach Hoffman, same question. If I come to a Spalding game, what should I see from you guys, whether it's stylistically or tactically, or philosophically that'll make you distinct?
I'm kind of right there with him on the same thing. You know, we want you to leave saying that you're going to be a disciplined. You know, that's a disciplined team. They play the way the game's supposed to be played. You know, they work well together, and they transition quick.
That's great. That's great. So we'll say we'll go to Coach Coggins and first, and this is about success, right? As coaches, we define success in a lot of different ways. Sometimes success is the wins and losses in the newspaper. Sometimes it's the score on the scoreboard. Sometimes it's playoff appearances, and sometimes it's individual student development. It's team development. It's other goals. So tell us, what would make a 2024 Bears season successful in your eyes?
A successful season to me is just watching these boys grow into young men, developing great character, great discipline, things of that sort. Of course, the goal is always to win as many games as we can, make the playoffs. That's always the goal. But to see these boys grow and actually come together as one, that would really make me happy.
That's great. That's great. Coach Hoffman, how do you define success?
Continuing the standard that we've set, like I said, at Spalding, playoffs, year in and year out. We've continued to do that. But I think for us, with where we're at, making a deep run at this point is the one thing that we've lacked. And I genuinely think with the team we've got this year, we can do that. But outside of that, as far as the individuals go, just being great people in the community, doing what they're supposed to do, and upholding those morals and values that they know they're supposed to.
Perfect. Students, it's your turn now, so we're going to start with Brandon first and work our way all the way down to CJ. Tell us your name and tell us your position and your grade level.
My name is Brandon Serrano, and I'm a center back for Griffin High. Can you repeat that question again?
Yeah, and
Sorry.
your grade level. That's it. You got it.
I'm a senior.
Senior. Perfect. Senior, and you are a center back. Great.
That's
And
right.
Jose, go ahead. Tell us your name, your grade level, and your position.
Jose Camacho. My name is Jose Camacho, and I'm a junior goalkeeper.
Great. Kevin?
Kevin Cifuentes Barahona. I am a junior and I play in the midfield.
Awesome. Great. Let's go over to Alex.
My name is Alex Sanchez. I'm a senior and I play striker.
Yes.
It was Justin. I play midfield and I'm in 10th grade.
Okay, great. CJ?
My name is CJ O'Neill and I play center back and I'm a senior.
We're going to stay right there with CJ and work our way back across. This next question, guys, is about you as an individual, right? What are your strengths as a player, and how do you use those to make the team successful? CJ?
I'm a pretty quick player. I'm a strong defender, and I think I can bring some strength in the air as well.
That's great. Justin? Your strengths as a player and how you use those to help the team.
I think my strengths are like passing the ball and moving the ball around the field so I can like release it to my players and make through balls for them.
That's great. Alex, talk to us about your strengths and how you use those to make your team successful.
I think I'm well versed in every position, so I can step up whenever the team needs to put me anywhere that really matters to win the game.
That's great. So we'll come over here to Kevin. Same question, guys. Tell us what your strengths are as a player and how you use those to make the team successful.
I would say my strengths as a player is definitely the IQ I bring to the game. I definitely bring a different perspective to my team. So whenever there's need for learning, I'm definitely there to share my opinion.
Great. Jose?
I feel like I bring the whole team together, and I feel like in a way I can be a role model to these guys. Like, they don't expect too high. Like, a role model that they see that's in reach in a way, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like they can relate to me.
Great. That's great. Brandon? So tell us how your strengths as a player and then how those help the team.
Well, I would say I'm a well-rounded player. I'm good at leading the back line and communicating with my people in the defense, and also looking for those through balls from the back and distributing the ball.
Great. That's great. We're going to start with Kevin this time, and we're going to work our way back out and then go to Spalding and start on the inside with Alex and work to the outside. We're going to talk about practice. Tell us about what a practice looks like at your school, and then as an individual, What are you using practice time to focus on?
So as a team, our practice usually starts in the weight room. We like to be in the weight room at the beginning so we can, build strength for the season, prevent any injuries. And could you repeat the second part of the question, please?
What are you as an individual working on?
So as an individual, I'm definitely working on being able to play with my team, I would say, in my certain position that I am right now, because I do have to adjust to whatever team I am. So whatever the team needs, I'm going to be there.
That's great. Jose, talk to us about practice from your perspective and then what you're individually working on.
Like Kevin said, we usually start in the weight room, and then after that, like Coach tells us what we're gonna do today at practice. And before we even start, we just like run a little bit around the field, just get warmed up, stretch, and do some drills, And something I would like to work on is like definitely building chemistry with the team. So like, for example, like let's say Brandon wants to like pass back to me. I don't even have to say anything anymore. Like he already knows he has me right there. So it's like definitely knowing, like definitely working like as all together, like a hive mind, I guess you can say. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely, very important. So Brandon, tell us how is practice going from your perspective, and what are you working on to improve as an individual?
Like Kevin said, we start at the weight room, and then we head to the field. We practice for a good time. And well, for me, in my opinion, I feel like practice is going really well. We're trying to communicate with the team, build that chemistry that it's really needed in the field. Also, we look for that improvement because there's always room for improvement on our team, and we're looking forward for that.
Great, that's great. So we're going to go to Alex now. Same question, Alex. Talk to us about practice, what it looks like for you guys. But then as an individual, what are you working on improving in practice in your training session?
Well, I mean, so far it's been a slow start with weather and other things going on, but I feel like we're starting off strong. I'm focusing on improving trust in this team because I feel like in a sport like this, it's easy to get lost and, you want to do everything yourself. But I feel like building trust with your teammates is a big thing.
Absolutely. Justin?
We're trying to like work as a team, get better, pretend I like look at CJ and he already knows what me and him are gonna do, so we can have a good connection with each other. And then for me, I'm just trying to improve myself so I can get better and better.
CJ?
We're all trying to work on our conditioning and our chemistry with each other because, like our coach said, we got a bunch of people coming in. We lost a bunch of players. We have to make up for what we lost and, learn what we just gained. Me personally, I'm trying to work on learning our new players, learning where, they'd like for me to be in certain situations, and, just all out support, whatever they do out on the field.
Perfect. We're going to stay with Spalding and go Alex, start with you, go out to CJ, and then come over here to Griffin, Kevin to the outside. This is about your team, right? We talked about used individuals. Now talk to me about your team. What is your team's biggest strength and why? Go ahead, Alex.
I think our biggest strength is that we can adapt well. Every year we've lost lots of players, and we still come back just as strong every year to compete. Like we're making playoffs every year, and we're doing big things, even though we're losing a lot of people. So just that we can adapt really well.
Justin?
Repeat the question.
Sure. It's tell us your team's biggest strength and why.
Like Alex said, we adapt really quick, and we get comfortable and have good chemistry with each other really quick and learn how to work together.
Awesome. CJ?
All of our players all have individual skills, but I think our biggest strength is the way we mesh with each other. Like they were all saying, we lose players, but every year we pick right back up where we left. Even though, we haven't won our goal every year, we've always, been right there with it, and, we're going to keep being right there with it. And, yeah, I think our best strength is, adversity and chemistry.
Great. So, Kevin, same question. We're going to start with you and work our way out. What is your team's biggest strength and why?
I would say our team's biggest strength among a lot of things is definitely our hunger to win. We have a lot to prove this season, and we all know that. the standards aren't set very high for us, and we're going to prove everybody wrong. That's definitely our priority.
That's great. Jose?
The fact that we want to change the narrative this year. Over the past few years, Griffin High School has never been known for soccer. You know, like you ask somebody on the street, "Are you going to the Griffin High School soccer game?" They say, "I didn't even know they played soccer." But we want to change that. You know, we want to change that narrative, and we want to, put our names out there.
That's right. Brandon?
I agree with Jose and Kevin. Can you repeat that question again? Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Is your team's biggest strength?
All right.
What is your team's biggest strength and why?
Well, I would say it is speed. We have a lot of fast players, and we can counter attack really fast. Our players in the midfield are very vocal and visual, and I feel like that can take us very far.
Great guess. Mr. Shivers, do you have any? So hey guys, look, y'all brought it up, right? There's actually been there's a tradition of excellence in soccer as well in Griffin, right? Griffin High School in the 90s was a perennial state power, if not state runner-up a couple times, and Spalding High over the last 10 years as well has been deep playoff runs. And I think you guys are proudly in that great tradition of good soccer, both at Griffin and at Spalding. And talking to you, I can tell that you're going to continue that excellence. You're going to continue to push, and you're going to make all those of us who wore the uniforms proud of what you're going to do this year. So especially you, Brandon, you better watch that 3, man. That's my number, bud. So I expected big things. Coaches, first week of February is the Jag Cup, right, at the stadium?
That's correct.
All right, and so when else can we catch you? What day that week can we catch Spalding and Griffin in action?
You can catch us on February the 6th, February 8th, and February 10th.
6th, 8th, and 10th. And how about Spalding?
We are the 6th, 7th, and 10th.
6th, 7th, and 10th. We appreciate you guys telling us that, and we hope to see good crowds at Memorial Stadium and at the high schools for our soccer games. Soccer support in this community is important for you guys as well, so hope y'all come out. Great job today, guys. We'll get you guys up in the front for a picture, and then that'll conclude our 2024 Spring Sports Media Day here from Griffin, Georgia, and Griffin Spalding County Schools. Thank you for tuning in.